Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we're here with episode 126 of your favorite Formula One show. But today is a little bit different.
Very, very special.
We are here
For
the first time ever on Knowing Wheel. And I tell you what, we went into this thinking it's just going to be a really easy recording to do because of course we're together. It's going to be a vibe. But it's a nightmare, trust me.
Yeah, we've probably been here about an hour already trying to get this going. But
we apologise if there's a tiny bit of audio pickup between each microphone as well. We have also agreed that apparently we're kind of sat here like we're trying to do like an apology video.
yeah, I feel like a couple right now, to be honest.
You did say to me beforehand that now you see why women sit cross-legged.
I'm generally not tall enough to sit like Matt is sitting.
No, so he's like taken up the feminine role
Yeah,
apparently in this show. But of course we're here today to discuss the Hungarian Grand Prix, obviously from last weekend. But before that, I think we should probably explain where we are, what's going on. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm quite hungover today. We're currently, where are we, Jamie?
we're in Magaluf. I'm not hungover.
No.
I got here at 5 a.m. from my flight, which was 7 hours delayed, and met with this guy in his bed, not in a great way. So,
First I didn't get here till like 1 a.m. And I was kind of like, 1 a.m. I just want to get in, go to bed. 4 hours later, I am being sick on the hotel floor.
there go all the viewers.
Yeah, we're vibing today.
Yes,
But anyway, Jamie, it's lovely to have you
we're
here.
here. It's amazing. It's been 5 years since we saw each other last.
Genuinely been mad. Like, we saw each other at the Belgian Grand Prix in 2018.
Yeah.
And I think around then I had like 10,000 subscribers.
Max Verstappen had 3 wins.
Max
Four
Verstappen had
wins at that point.
4 wins. That was Seb's last legitimate win.
Yeah, it was.
As well. Singapore illegal engine, of course, the year
Yeah.
after. But we're not here to talk about Seb's illegal wins. We're here to talk Hungary. Going into the weekend, of course, to kick things off, we had all the hype of McLaren last weekend, but no one really kind of expected them to keep that pace up, did they?
No, not, and well, given we both didn't put either of them in our top 3 in predictions, so we saw they were good at Silverstone. In my head, or in both of our heads, that was kind of like, okay, they're good at high speed. Hungary's the exact opposite of that, really.
But they'd also said they weren't going to be good here.
Yeah.
So it was a bit odd.
So, but yeah, they seemed to have a bit of pace in practice, and obviously saw it through quite well. So
Yes.
spoilers if you haven't watched the race, what are you doing here?
Exactly. It's clearly people just want to know about our lad's holiday.
Yeah.
Jamie got late.
No. My mum watches this. That has not and will not happen.
I'm so sorry to Jamie's mum. Like I said, obviously, the other news, I suppose, Hungary been renewed till 2032.
Yeah.
Already the second longest constant on the F1 calendar, and bizarre, isn't it? Because you never think it is.
1982, wasn't it?
I say 6.
86. Well, our first race behind the Iron Curtain. I knew that.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that'll be making it almost 50 years of Hungary.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Well, 2032. Yeah, will be almost. Yeah, almost 50 years, which is mad when you think about it. 1982, by the way, was when Monza has been continuous.
Yes, it's equal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why you were thinking of 1982. Ken Magnussen, he had a small cube.
He did. Or his wife, is it wife, girlfriend? I don't know.
I think they're married.
Okay.
I'm pretty certain they're married.
Nice.
We're like a proper basic podcast.
We actually are. We don't know anything. Sat on the same bed.
Yeah, that was 9 months near enough after his Brazil pole. So clearly he finished first twice that night. Fair play to him. Congratulations, Kevin Magnussen. Unfortunately, didn't really carry any kind of extra boost into the
If
weekend.
anything, it slowed him down a lot because
Yeah.
he was not really at it at all.
Bit of a nightmare for Kevin. But anyway, getting into free practice though. Perez, we spoke about it going last week, and I said, I think this is going to be the weekend where he finally picks it back up. And Friday morning, that was not the impression we got.
3 minutes into practice 1, and he's found a barrier. And you can just imagine the Red Bull hearts were fuming because it's such a needless crash. And it's almost like fresh start, new weekend. We're going to go into it. It's going to be all smooth, no complications. Get into Q3. Yeah. I mean, straight away, just to crash it in the wall, unforced error was so dumb. So
yeah, not ideal. Sorry, I keep looking out the window. There's nothing there.
Oh well.
Just Yeah, like I said, a weirdly common mistake though. You see, driving.
Yeah.
I remember. I think it was Felipe Massa did that a few years ago as well. Like
Yeah.
the exit of 4 into 5 is not a corner you'd expect to have those sorts of issues, but more common than we thought. I mean, the big talk though, wasn't it, Jamie? Throughout Friday, Lewis Hamilton back on it. I thought Hamilton is going to deliver me a big weekend, just so I can wind him.
Yeah.
As obviously we move into qualifying. Q1, too dramatic.
There was one bit of drama. Yeah.
To pole position last year, didn't even see Q2.
18th on the grid as well, not even 16th. Could have I mean, to be fair to him, he did get absolutely screwed over. I think there were four cars all went past him between the penultimate and the final corner, or halfway around the final corner, as Gasly did. Which meant his first sector, he must have lost probably half a second there, and then trying to get up to speed. So it was unfortunate of him, but should have got a lap in earlier or just not been in the traffic. So
exactly. And of course, the other big thing in qualifying are our thoughts on the or didn't really notice. Hard tyres were mandatory in Q1. I think you had 2 sets of 1 set of tyres for the session.
I think 2 sets for the whole weekend, 2 sets of hards.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was 2 sets of hards, mediums, and softs.
Oh, maybe it was that. Basically, they're trying to
thought-
reduce the amount of waste. So they're limiting the tyres you can pick for quali so that people don't need as many sets for quali.
Yes, yeah. So you were only allowed hards in Q1, you were only allowed mediums in Q2, and you were only allowed softs in Q3. I quite liked it.
I think it worked well. I don't know why it worked well, but I think it did.
It's weird because we're at the kind of this point now where different cars perform well in different scenarios. Like it kind of played into that quite nicely. I think
Zhou Guanyu topped Q1.
Yes, he did. No, I thought you went second in the
No,
end. I
no,
thought
he was
Max
top.
went quicker. Oh, he did.
Yeah,
stay top
on the hard
yeah.
tyres. So Alfa Romeo on for race win on the hards. But
Yep, exactly. I was thinking about it though. I would be intrigued.
Oh dear,
That was going to happen.
that was people knocking on the door. But we will carry on.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that was our friends from on the doors. I would be intrigued to know what it'd be like if you were allowed 3 sets of tyre. Like if you were given medium, hard, and soft, and you could use all 3 just to qualify. Like whether that would spot.
Yeah, maybe just limit to 3 tyres, like 3, because obviously the Red Bulls, the Mercedes would try and get through Q1 on the hards.
Exactly.
But realistically, even the slowest teams could probably beat them.
And with how close qualifying is at the moment, constantly, that would be quite a gamble, which would be quite impressive.
Teams just trying to Hail Mary it into Q3, use up their soft.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like if you're a Williams or an AlphaTauri, you just use softs in Q1 and then probably go 14th and 15th in Q2, but you're at Q1 kind of thing. Could be interesting. But yeah, George Russell, obviously the big name out in Q1, joined by Albon, I think it was Yuki Tsunoda, wasn't it? Sargent and Kevin Magnussen. Like we said, Magnussen just was nowhere all weekend, really. We jumped into Q2. There was even more drama, wasn't there? Carlos Sainz not making it through by 0.02 of a second.
Yeah, very, very close. And thankfully for Sergio Perez, he did make it through for the first time since Miami, which is mad. But Sainz, yeah, for the first time in a very long time, Jeddah 21, he hasn't made it into Q3. So that's a pretty good run, actually, for Sainz. I was going under the radar a bit. But, I mean, now it's come to an end, so sucks for him.
Yeah,
so
it's only gone on the radar when it's stopped happening, which is quite impressive. But yeah, we've got notes on James.
Yeah, I just need to unlock it again.
But he locked it, so I'm trying to guess.
There you go.
But yeah, he was obviously joined. Now I can actually see again. He was joined obviously by Ocon, Ricardo. Forgot to mention him, and qualifying Tsunoda on his return.
Yeah, good stuff.
We've been saying this all year. Is it now where people realise that actually Yuki's kind of still a bit bang average, and it's just that De Vries was quite bad, and the AlphaTauri isn't as bad as we thought it was?
Potentially. A bit like when Schumacher, we thought he was good against Mazepin.
Yeah.
And not to the same degree of badness, but yeah.
But yeah, Lance Stroll, P14.
Yeah.
What's happened to Aston Martin? We both hyped up Aston Martin this weekend.
Yeah.
They were meant to be quick, and it just didn't happen.
Same with Alpine, really, because you look at Monaco, Aston and Alpine were second and third fastest teams. And then here they are, out in Q2. So,
Shocking.
Yeah,
Shocking.
a lot of teams have stepped forward and they really haven't. So,
And keep up with the development.
yeah.
They are still one of the teams rumoured, obviously, in the budget cap. Whatever is going on with the budget cap at the moment. But then we get into Q3. Jamie, talk me through it. It's music to my
It
ears.
was good stuff, to be fair. I was happy, but I was happy for him, not for me. Yeah, I mean, first runs, Verstappen obviously goes fastest. Norris is looking right there, really, really close. And then Lewis Hamilton is the closest person to Verstappen after the first runs. I think he's a 10.5 off, with Norris third. And then, who was fourth? Piastri? Wow. Yeah, McLaren really well on it all weekend. And then second run's coming around. Verstappen is 0.2 up on himself at the end of sector 2. And everyone's thinking, oh, this is it then. Okay, another max pole, 6 in a row. And then gets around the final quarter. And unlike Silverstone, where Verstappen was the last to cross the line and ruined all our dreams, he was actually the first to cross the line, doesn't improve. And you've got Norris and Hamilton both really, really quick behind him. Verstappen doesn't improve. I think he's about 200ths off of improving of himself. So the benchmark doesn't get moved any quicker. And then you've got Norris coming through. He's up on Verstappen in sector 2. You've got Hamilton coming through. He's up on Verstappen in sector 2. And yeah, Norris sadly ended up, I think, 800ths off in that point in second place. Then Hamilton comes around the final sector. All eyes are on him. Everyone else across the line. And Hamilton snatches the pole position by 0.003 of a second, which is smaller margin than I beat you in Brazil in a Bahrain season 12.
Oh, I had completely forgot about that.
That was 0.004, so well done, Lewis. 2 feet in that.
I was actually just thinking of the fact, well, that's the closest qualifying session of Formula 1 Grand Prix since Hockenheim.
Yeah, 2000s.
Was that Alonso got pole over Seb, didn't he? It was Seb over Alonso, sorry, yeah. But 9th pole position for Hamilton at the Hungarian. That's mental.
104th.
104th. I was thinking, literally, I'm pretty certain we've done about 100 episodes since Lewis was last on pole. Like, because we only did like 24 episodes first season.
Yeah.
So it might genuinely have been 104 episodes since Lewis was on pole, which is insane.
Yeah.
But I was so happy with that. So happy with that. 104 points. It's a shame now they're not balanced. Spoiler.
He's going to have to get a win at some point.
He's going to have to win somewhere at some point. He will this year. I believe in him.
I don't think so.
No. We'll wait. We'll wait.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It sets up with a very good grid. Also, shout out to Alfa Romeo on Saturday. They're excellent.
Yeah.
Joe Guanyu, driver of the Saturday. No, second best driver of the Saturday.
Thank you.
In P5 in the Alfa Romeo, best ever grid position.
Fastest Ferrari powered car.
Thunder? No. Okay. And then Valtteri Bottas in P7, McLaren 3rd and 4th, Alfa Romeo 5th and 7th. They were the only 2 teams with both cars in Q3, I think. Perez as well.
Yeah, Red Bull.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
Perez was down in 9th. Was still a disappointment. But everyone was so hyped by Lewis that he kind of went under the radar, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, that then meant, though, we had the return of Hamilton and Verstappen on the front row.
Yeah.
And I was panicking. I was a bit nervous. I was a little bit shaky. But yeah, as we get into race day Sunday, let's be fair. Like, I love the guy, but I knew he wasn't going to be able to win it. You know, that the thing is, I think what Red Bull are doing at the moment is if they show up and have a dominant drive, they're just going to get nerfed. They know they've got the fastest car still. Like, I think all they're doing at the moment is allowing other teams to remain close enough that the FIA doesn't do anything.
I do genuinely think on a Saturday they're not very good though.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I don't think they're much quicker than anyone.
Yeah.
But Sundays, they very much, the thing that's probably been told to Max is just don't build up too big of a gap. Back.
He didn't massively listen this week.
Not this weekend, no. Like the 13th most dominant win in F1 history.
Really?
Sorry, it's since 2000.
Wow.
Biggest winning margin, yeah. But, I mean, yeah, down to someone, Hamilton, Verstappen, side by side. Lewis leaves him an open door, and Max still just runs him so...
He might as well. Just ruin his exit so he can't get back at you.
No, but he won't come back at you anyway. Like, Lewis knew his battle wasn't with Verstappen. Like, he knew that. So I think he was more than accepting fate that Max was going to get past him early on. But it was more just the fact, of course, he shoves him out wide. Obviously, then Piastri and Lando Norris get through, and suddenly my boy's 104th pole position, and he's 4th by the end of lap 1, and that hurt.
Yeah, and it was quite a dull affair in the first stint, really.
Well, apart from the Alpines.
Yeah, that was another thing that happened to no one. But yeah, the top 4 and the top 10 really all just started spreading out by 2 seconds-ish. So yeah, Lewis was quite quickly about 10 seconds off the race lead, which was a shame for him, but just get a better start and stay in the lead in turn 1. But the other thing that happened, talking to someone not getting a good start, Joe Guan Yu, my boy. I was so gassed to see him. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you worked with him, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well done.
Got a picture on the Insta.
Yeah, I was so excited to see what he could do from fifth, and all he did was immediately go backwards.
He went to last by turn 1, didn't he? Yeah.
I mean, they've said in the post that it was a sensor issue on the engine which made the revs drop just before the start. So, yeah, I don't know if I believe that or not. I think they might be trying to cover his back a little bit, but supposedly there was a mechanical issue that caused the revs to drop, which caused the anti-stall. But yeah, he was obviously completely flustered, getting passed by 10 cars, and then missed his braking point a touch into turn 1. Well, not actually that much, because he didn't hit Ricciardo that hard.
It wasn't quite Hulkenberg at Spa 2018, to be fair.
No, but yeah, he kept Ricciardo into a little nudge, and then Ricciardo nudges Ocon, and Ocon launches into Gasly.
Well, I can't believe how brave Gasly had gone around the outside into turn
Well, Gasly
1.
started, what?
Last.
Yeah, 19th. And he was 12th into turn 1.
Yeah,
and then got taken out. So it was a shame. But yeah, both Alpines were out for the third time this season, which was quite.
The second time in a row they've had a double D. I would love to know when the last time that happened in Formula 1. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Let us know down in the comments below. When was the last time a team had a double DNF back to back? Probably McLaren or something. It could be a really odd one. But yeah, I mean, race early on though, kind of just leveled out, didn't it? Really, it was. I mean, this is the thing with the Hungarian. Like, you can either deliver drama, and it does probably give us an unfair amount of good races as well. But it also going to have some absolute stinkers. And
I think usually it's the weather, which is the only saving grace. I can't remember a particularly exhilarating fully dry Grand Prix there.
Trying to think.
Because 2020 was fully dry from lap 4, but it was crazy because of the rain before that.
Yeah, exactly.
2021, sorry, that was.
Yes.
2020 was that was wet as well at the very start. 2019 was a pretty dead race. Yeah, because it was dry. Who knows? But it is that kind of track where it's more about strategy. And to be fair, the strategy, they got the tyres right this weekend, I think.
Tyres, yeah, they did good choices with the tyres that they used. I still am a big advocate. I think 2 stops should be the way to go in a lot of Grand Prix. It was just the soft tyres did not last, though, did they? Apart from Sainz, wasn't it? Yeah, Sainz started on it, but like all the other soft runners were in by like lap 7, which was not great. Not great for them.
Yeah, but Lewis Hamilton, running 4th, did attempt to start the undercut on the 2 McLarens ahead of him, Norris in 3rd and Piastri in 2nd. He was about 2.5 seconds back, pit a lap before Norris pit, and lost time. I don't know how, but he went from 2.5 seconds to 9 seconds back. And he wasn't a slow stop, and he didn't get traffic. Norris just nailed his in-lap and out-lap, I think.
He did, absolutely. I think McLaren just had pace on the table that they could use.
So it's crazy, because in 2 laps, Lewis lost 7 seconds to Norris and a pit stop. But yeah, Norris was so fast, in fact, that he accidentally undercut his teammate. I think it was a helpful way the cards fell for McLaren.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, it was useful for them because, of course, bless him, Oscar had that mega start, was running P2 early on. Like, don't get me wrong, he's got wins in him in the future. You put him in the right car, I think he can absolutely do incredible things. But just then that pace fell off, didn't it, on the hards? It just wouldn't work for him.
Yeah, so Norris was through and then kind of didn't really see Piastri at all for the rest of the race.
Piastri had really stuck with him, like right to the flag, whether they would have switched them back the other way around again. But I think, obviously, they gave Lando the pit stop first to stop Lewis undercutting him.
Yeah.
That's what they were going.
They didn't have a choice, I don't think. They had to pit Lando first, and it accidentally meant that Oscar got a bit screwed.
Well, I also love the fact Oscar Piastri, I know he didn't really say anything, but it was the fact that, of course, he seems like a good team player as well.
Yeah.
I can imagine, like, they would explain that, like, sat down after the race, explain what happened, and he was like, okay. Kind of thing. Yeah, I think he's a good guy. Plus, first season, you don't want to make too many ripples, especially when he's doing incredibly well.
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't look like a rookie, does he? He seems at home, like he did when he came into F3 or F2. He just gets in and gets up to speed. Yeah, I think the one that was really keeping it exciting, though, wasn't it? It was Sergio Perez.
Yeah.
Was making some moves.
Yeah, so obviously starting 9th, he had to force his way back somehow. got past Alonso quite early on in the first stint, and then I think he was running offset strategy because he was on the hards to start. Meant that he had the mediums for the second stint, and quickly got up to the back of Sainz and Russell, I think it was.
He was already ahead of Russell, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was ahead of Russell. He was doing Sainz, and who was ahead of Sainz?
I think it was only after Perez pit, wasn't it? And then he was behind Russell.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Before Russell had pit.
So he overtook both of those guys in quick succession around lap 30ish. The move on Sainz turn 1 was quite good. The move on Russell down the inside of turn 2 was also quite good. Although Russell tried to kamikaze him a little bit, which I think was probably just to protect Hamilton, because Russell would have known that corner was up. But was just trying to cost him some time because he thought later in the race Perez was going to be catching Hamilton. Lo and behold, he did. Yeah. But that was kind of it. He then later on caught Piastri and caught Hamilton, passing all of them. I think the fact he started 9th was a bit outrageous, really.
Yeah, that should have been an easy Red Bull 1-2, shouldn't it? From the get-go. And I know obviously they're getting a double podium. People going, oh, well, he's still second.
Yeah. It should be a comfortable... There's no way any other car should have beaten that Red Bull.
Team has been close enough to Red Bull that Perez's lack of pace in comparison to Verstappen should have.
Oh.
But I mean, obviously, after that, Charles Leclerc speeding in pit lane because Ferrari.
I couldn't go a race weekend without Ferrari doing something dumb. So Leclerc just making a random error, speeding into the pits, losing 5 seconds, completely needless.
He wasn't really in a battle with anyone either, was he, at that point?
No.
So it was completely needless.
Ferrari were really just anonymous all weekend. They've just...
And then Aston Martin have just fallen.
Yeah, Ferrari was second fastest in Bahrain, I reckon. Yeah, but they've all, at the start of the season, they were second, third fastest. And then now they're 4th or 5th, really.
Yeah, they've just... Them and Aston Martin have fallen away. Which is weird to think about, isn't it? In fact, Leclerc took pole a few weeks ago in Baku, and now, Ferrari are genuinely on the cusp of points.
Yeah.
But they're also quite safely on the cusp of points,
well,
isn't it?
There's a very, very solid top 5 now is the problem.
Yeah, and Alpine are kind of there picking up the scraps or taking each other out. This is the thing, Haas... I mean, Alfa Romeo this weekend should have picked up big points. This should have been how they get back ahead of Williams.
Yeah. They could have got 8th, 10th quite easily, which is big.
It would not surprise me if between now and the end of the season... Haas, Alfa, Williams, and AlphaTauri don't score again.
Are you serious? They will absolutely will. They really, really will.
They will probably scrape points together. But if I ended up if I tripped over on the balcony or something,
if I pushed him off,
please don't. If I ended up in a coat to the end of the year and the bottom 4 teams are exactly the same points as they do now, I would not be surprised.
I really would.
I think no, but I could believe it.
Albon's getting points.
No, Williams won't be good enough. Monza, you might have a chance. Williams is not good enough. Yeah, actually, they did all right. So we'll wait and see. Maybe we'll make predictions at the end of this one. Really after that, though, there was obviously George Russell right towards the end.
Overtook both Ferraris, or overtook Sainz and then just hung behind Leclerc with his penalty. It was really quite a boring race, I'll be honest.
It was not.
It was not the best.
Not great. And the last thing, which I must have completely missed because I was too busy trying to pack to come here, was Sargent's spin. I didn't know that happened.
Who qualified in the top 10 for the 7th time this season.
7 times in the top 10?
7 in Q3, yeah.
That's more points than more Q3 appearances than points this year, isn't it?
No. He got a 7th and a 6th in a sprint. So that's 9 points.
I thought Haas only had 7 points this year.
No, they're on 11. I think Magnussen's got 2. Yeah.
I thought Williams were ahead of them.
No, Haas went back ahead in Austria with the... No, because Albon's got 2 7th places. Yeah. So that is right. But yeah, Hulkenberg was obviously, because the Haas can't do tyre wear, and Hulk's never been that good at tyre wear either. It meant that he was just dropping to drop in. He had Albon and Sargent. No, maybe it was Tsunoda and Sargent right behind him. And for no reason at all, Sargent just spun at the chicane. Literally just... Yeah. Yeah. And that was kind of it.
Max Verstappen, the Red Bull. New record, most wins in a row.
12 in a row.
How far do we think that's actually going to extend?
They'll win Spa. Is it Zandvoort after that? They'll win Zandvoort. They'll win Monza.
They'll win Singapore.
Singapore could be. It's just that if something goes wrong, it can happen at Singapore.
Yeah, I mean,
Max has never been that great there.
He's never won there still, has he?
Has he not?
No, I don't think so.
No, he hasn't, has he? Wow.
No, Singapore wasn't in 2021, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I'm trying to think right now. Because I know I've said this right since the beginning of the season, and it worries me that still I feel like we've got to have this conversation. Do Red Bull genuinely win every race this year?
I think they've got the potential to.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't think they will, still.
No team has ever done it before. A
Yeah.
lot of people claim Ferrari in 1952 did because they won every race apart from Indianapolis. Don't count.
Should have entered. There's got to be one race where something goes really wrong for Red Bull because it's not happened yet. They've just been bulletproof.
No, they need a McLaren Italy 1988.
Because all it takes is a Max failure or a collision at turn 1 and Perez to have gone out in Q2. And then...
See him winning is Max having a mechanical failure at Checo. I was about to say
having a weekend. Just as... Oh, my phone's locked again. What a nightmare. Ooh, quite low. 5. I mean, there was quite a lot going on, but I mean, there wasn't even that much going on, was there? There was a lot of pit stops.
The key to a good F1 race is lots of pit stops. I was going to say a 4.5, 5, to be honest.
Not great. That's to leave us an answer to the quiz, though, which I'll take my phone.
Okay, here we go. First ever in-person quiz.
Yeah, Lando Norris took his 8th podium for McLaren Formula 1 team.
I don't want to think about this.
Drivers have scored 8 or more podiums for McLaren.
For McLaren? Okay.
Timer up. And you've got, I give you 1 minute and 22 seconds.
Why? That's an odd number. Fair enough. Lewis, Jensen, Raikkonen, Hakkinen, David Coulthard, Senna, Prost, Lauda, Hunt, Fittipaldi, John Watson. Trying to think who was his teammate back. Oh, that was Lauda, wasn't it? How many have I got?
You've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left.
Oh no, Bruce McLaren.
No, you got 7. Close.
Can you give me some eras? Keiki Kovalainen.
No, you only got 3.
Oh really?
Eras. 1 is modern. The rest are like 80s.
The Alonso did. Yeah, I forgot about him. 80s.
I think 70s, 80s, 90s.
Gerhard Berger.
Yep.
1's
a champion. I don't know if he won it for McLaren. I guess he probably did. Actually, I don't know if he won it for McLaren.
Pretty throw me off with that. I've only got, what,
you
3
got
more
10 seconds and 3 more.
Nigel Mansell? No, he had a nightmare at McLaren, didn't he?
And
I know I've forgotten an obvious one here.
They're not that obvious, to be fair.
Okay.
And your time's up. There you go. Wow, that was good. 14 out of 17.
I will take that.
You missed Denny Hume.
Of course, yeah. Always forget about the Kiwi.
Did he win McLaren? I think he won.
I don't think so.
And then the other 2, Jochen Mass, which is quite hard.
I didn't even know he raced for McLaren.
And Peter Revson, which is also quite hard.
Who?
Peter Revson.
Genuinely don't think I've ever heard of him.
2 Grand Prix wins? No.
Genuinely don't think I've ever heard of him in my life.
Wow.
Not even joking.
This is your podcaster, by the way.
Yeah. Exactly.
Active in the early 70s.
Okay.
There you go.
I wasn't alive then, to be fair.
No, for neither was I.
Anything else we need to do?
Anything on the notes? Predictions? I beat you.
You did. Yeah. We had a bit of a nightmare, didn't we? No, we scored less than that.
3-2, I think it was.
Well, you said Verstappen,
Perez, Alonso. That's 3.
Yeah.
You said Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso.
Which, to be fair, could have been very spicy.
Could have been.
Could have been wonderful, but it wasn't. And
but
of
it
course,
wasn't.
as always, I lose. So I think now I'm 2 behind you now, and I remind
yeah.
you that.
Well, we'll sort it out.
Are we going to do Belgian Grand Prix predictions now, or are we going to do another show? You're going to get a second MAGA show, apparently, from your boys. Anything else to go over? We've kind of rattled through it, but it was, like we said, it was quite a boring race.
Yeah, and we're rapidly running out of storage space on your phone.
We are. I've still got about 10 minutes of recording.
Driver of the day?
Oh, of course.
Driver of the... I mean, Perez got the official one for some weird reason.
Because he overtook people.
Yeah.
Back-to-back podiums. First time that's happened for McLaren since 2012, which is alarming.
I'm actually boring and say Verstappen because he won by 35 seconds.
Yeah, it's a good shout, to be fair.
And he got his trophy broken.
He did, yeah. Lando broke his porcelain trophy.
Which is a very big shame.
Which made me chuckle, because you had someone who put it on Twitter, obviously saying they cost like 40,000 euros to make.
Max won't care. He'll find it funny.
Oh, Max won't care.
Yeah.
But then someone else said it cost 8 figures. And the amount of people that didn't understand when they said 8 figures, they meant Hungarian foreign rather than euros, was hilarious. Because the exchange rate is like 30,000 to 1 or something.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, there you go. You didn't come here for economics. That's not how you say that word.
It's not. And it's, 4x. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think, Jamie, we're done, are we?
I think we are.
We've done pretty well today.
That was good.
This is, like I said, I'm feeling quite hungover. So I'm impressed that we made it through.
Yeah.
Shake my hand. Good man. We can do that. It's all right, isn't it? There we go. No One Wheel, episode 126. We apologise if there's been any issues with the audio. But thank you all, as always, so much for listening. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like and get yourselves subscribed. Obviously, follow us on all the various social medias. I've got to do my last little bit, haven't I, Jamie?
Especially Twitter.
Especially Twitter. Get on the Twitters.
Good content.
There is good content coming there. As well, of course, if you're watching this on my main YouTube channel, there'll be a link down in the description below. Of course, for 2024, Knowing Wheel is shifting exclusively onto its own YouTube channel. It is shifting away from my personal one. So, yeah, definitely, if you like listening to these, please do subscribe to that as well. But we will be back then very, very soon with more Knowing Wheel.